Good afternoon. I'm Dave Delachase. The small communities in Herkimer and Mohawk are rattled this morning after multiple incidents that have left 4 people dead and others injured. Here's what we know so far. A structure fire was reported in Mohawk on South Washington Street just after 9 this morning. Then, minutes later, reports of a shooting in Herkimer at Gaffey's Car Wash on Mohawk Street. Shortly after that, our crews arrived on the scene in both locations and discovered there had also been a fatal shooting at a barber shop on Main Street in the village of Mohawk. We continue to follow this breaking news this afternoon with live reports from both communities, starting with Jolene Ferris on North Main Street in Herkimer. Jolene, good afternoon.
Dave, we were on Mohawk Street near Gaffey's Fast Loop probably around 45 minutes ago when we saw and heard a huge caravan of around a dozen state police Suburbans and ambulances as well. We saw them turn on to Caroline. We followed that, and this is where we wound up. Right now, we're at the corner of Park Ave and North Main in Herkimer. 7 or 8 state police Suburbans are on Green Street. There are officers walking around with long guns, wearing bulletproof vests. We can hear several police dogs barking. Also, Green Street intersects North Main. There are probably about half a dozen state police vehicles on North Main as well. Also, an ambulance on standby with the back door open. There's a helicopter hovering low overhead as well. That's been going on since we got here, probably about 35 minutes ago. Onlookers, several people on the corner watching. The police just pushed them back a little while ago. We did call, try to get confirmation. Nothing confirmed yet, but we can only guess and deduce that they believe they have a dangerous suspect perhaps cornered here. It's hard to describe the effort being dedicated to this. I don't think we've seen anything like this, at least in the 20 years I've been on the job. There are at least 2 dozen, possibly as many as 3 dozen state police vehicles here, emergency response teams. Gives us an idea of the magnitude, what they think they're dealing with here. Again, we're at the corner of Park and Main. Several police officers on Green Street, just a few yards from where we're standing. Earlier, though, we arrived on the scene at Gaffey's Fast Loop, and we encountered a young woman who tells us she saw the entire shooting there.
We saw a guy walking around the shop. There was 2 shots fired, and then he took off in his Jeep Wrangler. So we ran over there, and both guys were down. There was empty rifle shells on the ground.
And again, we are still in Herkimer, but now we're at the corner of Park Ave and North Main, and we can hear the helicopter coming in again. Again, several dozen police officers, armed police officers here. We're waiting on confirmation as to whether or not they believe they have the suspect surrounded here. For now, we'll send it back to you.
Jolene, before you go, I want to ask, have you seen anything since the time you've been on the scene being taken out of any kind of residences there, any sort of weaponry or anything like that?
No, we're not close enough, Dave. In fact, they just pushed us back a few minutes ago. We're in the periphery. But what I can tell you is, if anything, the police presence here is growing. We've seen several more arrive in the about 45 minutes that we've been here. And every now and then you'll see one run around the back of a building carrying their long guns. So, no, nothing like that yet. We're a little off in the periphery. But again, one thing I can tell you is, if anything, the police presence here is growing.
Now, for a small village like Herkimer, that's usually a pretty busy area. Are you seeing commuters, pedestrians, anything like that being rerouted by authorities to different locations?
Well, obviously, this area is blocked off, and you're right, it's pretty much downtown here. There are probably a couple dozen people watching on the corners, and we know, of course, Herkimer Central schools are on lockdown as well. So, yeah, that's something you see in this neck of the woods every day, and there are onlookers here, and obviously this one block here is blocked off at North Main and Green, near North Main and Park.
All right, Jolene Ferris reporting live from Herkimer. Thank you very much, Jolene. News Channel 2's Jason Paulus was headed to that